Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make is caramel frosting. I had a video for a brown sugar caramel nut pound cake where I used this frosting, but there wasn't enough time to, show how it's made. So I'm making this separate video for caramel frosting. Now you will need to do this frosting on your stove, but what I like about it is that you don't have to use a candy thermometer or anything like that. Now I've got this pot pretty preheated on high only because of the video, and I'm going to put a half a cup of butter in. Now so that's why you're going to hear a little bit of a sizzle here. If you don't have butter, go ahead and use margarine. That's going to be up to you. And just melt it in your pan. Of course, not at the high heat that I'm using. I have the, as I mentioned just a second ago, I have it at a high heat because of the video. And I don't want this video to run too long, okay? So once you melt that butter, what you're going to do is you're going to be putting in a cup of brown sugar. So put that in your hot melted butter or margarine, and then just stir that in really well. Now, once you do this, this is what you want to do. All you have to do is add a quarter of a teaspoon of salt to the mixture and just keep stirring. And what you want to do is you want it to bring this mixture to a hard boil for about 2 minutes. And you do want to boil it for at least 2 minutes. So, you know, put your timer on or that type of thing. Now, again, you're going to adjust the heat to get your boil that you want for the 2 minutes. Now, once the 2 minutes is up, and do keep stirring it because you don't want it to burn. After the 2 minutes is up, you're going to be putting in 6 tablespoons of milk. So after the 2 minutes, you're going to pull this off your heat. We're going to blend in the milk at that time, and then you'll need to set the pot aside for at least till it becomes lukewarm. Okay? Now, because I had it at such a high temperature, this mixture is ready to go. It really is. So I'm going to shut the heat off, put that hot pot on this other burner, and I'm going to put the 6 tablespoons of milk in and stir it. Now this is when you let the pot just sit, become lukewarm. Of course, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move it along for the video. So we're just going to kind of imagine that we've let this sit aside. Now, at that time, what you're going to do is you're going to put your pot back on the heat, okay? If it's still warm yet, that's fine, but don't use any heat at all. And then we're going to put 3 cups of powdered sugar in, okay? All right. I guess you can hear the annoying smoke detector going off, yet I don't have any smoke in the kitchen, so I'm sorry about that. That can be very annoying. And then just stir that 3 cups in of the powdered sugar. Okay? Now, you're probably going to encounter some lumps in your frosting once you keep stirring it till it's really well blended. Okay. Oh, good. That finally shut off. Sorry about that. So it might seem that it seems lumpy to you. If it does, what I like to do is I just use my little hand mixer and I beat it till all the lumps are gone. And that will only take you, you know, maybe less than a couple minutes to do that. Okay? Now you can go ahead and you can sift your powdered sugar, but I still notice even if I sift my powdered sugar, I'll have little lumps. So I like to use, you know, my mixer. And I think it beats it, it becomes lighter and fluffier. Okay, so the lumps are all gone. And at that point, again, you're just going to let everything completely cool down. Because after all, our pot, even lukewarm, it was still had some heat to it. Okay? So, I'm going to show you what I have so far, but it'll be very silky and very smooth. Now, keep in mind, this mixture is still warm. So, it's going to thicken. The more that it cools down, it's going to thicken. In fact, if you find that it becomes too thick for you, then add a little bit of milk to it if it does become too thick. But it does, you know, like I said, really come out to be a great frosting. Now, I have some to show you once it's been completely cooled down in this container. I don't know if you can see it or not, but how very creamy it is and how easy it is to work with. So I'm going to grab this cake real quick here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of frosting on the top so that you'll be able to see its thickness and that it is easy to work with. Now there will be a picture of another cake on my video with using this frosting, okay? But you can get an idea of how nice and fluffy this frosting is, and the texture of it. I went ahead and I just frosted a little sweet roll here with it, and then once again you can see how nice this caramel frosting comes out. And it's relatively easy to make. Again, you don't have to use your candy thermometer, and it's just the biggest part of it is waiting that 2 minutes for it to boil. That's really the hardest part of it. And you will find the more that it cools down, you can already start to see this mixture in the short time that I've been speaking to you already, how it's becoming thick. Now, here's another suggestion. When I want to use it just to coat something, in other words, you know, you want to dip something in, you know, into the frosting where it becomes very smooth and silk in texture. Okay, I'll say I've cut this piece of cake here to show you. When it's in the thin process, you can actually dip. Whoops, that would have to happen. Let me re-dip that. Okay, you could re-dip whatever it is or pour it over a cake, and then it becomes more of like a fondant. But I find I can only do that before it really starts to harden up and gets thick, as I showed you in this container. But I have poured it over cakes or dipped cupcakes, or just like this little cake, just to dip it in before it gets too thick, and it just comes out very smooth and silky texture. so it looks like a poured fondant in a way. So there you have it. Caramel frosting, relatively quick and easy to make. I hope you try this recipe. If you're looking for other frostings, easy recipes, or even the ones that you do have to cook, please check out my channel, because I have a lot of frostings and a lot of icings in my over 500 videos that I have. I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake. As a quick reminder, all my videos are only shown on YouTube. If you try this frosting, well, leave a comment, because I always like to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.